I want to turn things over now to our last panel, our all-star current student panel. We have a mentor, a TA mentor on the panel. We have the president of the Student Bar Association. We have the editor of the Law Review as well. So if I can ask Brittany and Shayla and Katrin to unmute themselves and turn on their cameras, I will now turn things over to the three of you to introduce yourselves and kind of give an overview of your student experiences so far at the School of Law. Shayla, want to start us off?
Great. Hi, everyone. My name is Shayla Ramirez. I'm a 3L. And some of the things that I do at the law school, I'm the Student Bar Association president. So that's like student government at the school. I'm also president of the Latinx Law Student Association with my other e-board member here, Brittany Guzman. And so, sorry, what are other things that we were supposed to talk about?
Just kind of your student experiences, both, clubs, organizations, but also if you're following a concentration, kind of your experience in the classroom, any externship or clinical experiences, all of that.
Great. Awesome. So as I said before, I'm in my third year, so I've done lots of things in the law school. And I really appreciate the law school just for the fact that it's really small. They have small class sizes, and you are able to really experience like talking to your professors about areas that you're interested in. So for example, one of the areas that I'm really interested in is family law. I did an internship at Greater Boston Legal Services this past summer where I was able to work with survivors of domestic violence, and that was really great. We also have a very like public interest centered school. So there's lots of opportunities to help people if you're interested in going into the helping profession. And another thing that I do, I'm also the teaching assistant for family law, which I'm having kind of a different experience than other teaching assistants. So besides helping out in the classroom, I'm working with Professor Levi, who's renowned in the area of family law, and we're working on a paper talking about like the dissolution of Black family. So there's lots of opportunities to explore the different interests that you have. I'm also working in the city of Springfield in their litigation department. So lots of different things that I can talk about, but yeah, that's just a little bit about me.
I can jump in now. So, one of the things that I like most about Western New England is, Shelley kind of talked about it, is how accessible the professors are, due in part to like the small class sizes. But I've seen that continue kind of as we've gone through the pandemic, as professors like pivoting and adjusting to the new learning styles, whether it be having office hours on Zoom. Some professors have even had students email questions and leave voicemails with answers. So just kind of finding creative ways to help their students. In regard to concentrations, there are, just so many to choose from. And choosing the one that I wanted to do, I ended up choosing the transactional law concentration. And I chose it because I'm still not actually necessarily sure exactly what type of law I want to practice. So I wanted to choose something that could cover so many different types of areas of law. So for example, I'm interested in family law, and you have to draft like prenuptial agreements. I'm also interested in privacy and cybersecurity. So you have to draft agreements for vendors. And then obviously business law and corporate law itself, whether it be like entity formation and just other types of business transactions. So I felt that was kind of all encompassing, but there are many, I think on the website, it lists a few. In terms of experiential learning, depending on who you ask, I did either a really boring or a really exciting clinic. I was lucky enough to work with Professor Stachin in the small business clinic. That was honestly, like, I think my most profound experience in law school so far. Right out the gate, you start with a 2.5-day orientation where you're getting acquainted with the office. There's an actual office with computers and desks for all the students. And then also, how the firm works itself. You get to work with a partner, so that also allows you the dynamic of teamwork and individualized work. And you're also exposed to client contact right away. I'm not sure necessarily how how it worked for this semester, but I'm sure they found a really great way to do it. During the client interviews, you're with your partner and your client in a room alone. So it kind of gives you the freedom and the confidence to ask questions without necessarily feeling like you're being watched by a professor. But the funny part is they're actually in the room right next door with the camera actually watching you. So they are able to step in if you do need help. A few different projects I was able to work on. We counseled our clients on choosing an appropriate business entity. We drafted contracts for them. Review trademarks that they were interested in to let them know if we thought they were available. We counseled them on copyright protections for their works. And one of my clients actually was interested in forming a nonprofit corporation in Massachusetts. So we drafted all the formation documents for them too. There are walk-ins in the clinic. So like Professor Stachin said, there's an overwhelming amount of applications, but not everyone can be taken in. So we have walk-ins where they'll get an hour of help as opposed to a whole semester of help. But I would say that experience overall really did help me to kind of refine my research and writing ability, primarily because now I'm working at a law firm where the assignments that I'm getting now, I don't think that I would necessarily be able to do them as well as I am without having the experience in small business clinic. There's also a law review, but I'll skip that. I know Katrin will probably talk about that. Student groups gives you the opportunity to get involved in already existing ones like the Latinx Law Student Association. But if there's a group that you're interested in starting, you really do get the chance to do that. My first year, I helped revive the Outlaw group, which is the LGBT student group on campus. And if you're not necessarily involved in being on an e-board position, you can just pop in every now and again to other group meetings. Like I know that I've gone to Business Law Association meetings where we've done networking tips. We've got our headshots taken. Also the National Lawyers Guild I went to once, and there was a legal observer training. So there are a lot of different student groups for a lot of different interests. And the last thing I'll talk about is the TA mentor position. It's a really great program led by Dean Dion. They kind of revamped it from previous years where now new students are assigned to work with a 3L. We do weekly meetings to kind of reinforce what you've learned in academic success. Like Dean Dion talked about, it's a completely different way of learning from undergrad. You kind of have to relearn how to learn, and that's what TAs are here to help you for. Along with weekly meetings, I hold like one-on-one sessions if people need. So I've taught people how to outline, how to structure legal arguments. So between the professors and TA mentor positions, you have a lot of people in your corner ready to help you during your law school journey.
Hi, my name is Katrin. I'm also in my third year at Western New England. I'm feeling a little sentimental because I remember coming to this event before I came to law school, and now like thinking back to it, being like, wow, how far I've come and experiencing all these things that you're hearing about right now. So I guess just to start of like why I chose Western New England, I really liked how it was public interest focused. And I still remember getting a personalized phone call from the admissions office, which to me was just like, wow, you can really tell like how much of a community this school is, that they go out of their way to call you and not only just like send you a letter, but call you and want to answer any of your questions. So I took 2 years off before coming to law school. I did social work, so I knew I wanted to work with people, but I am horrible at public speaking. I want to be a trial attorney. So one great thing about Western New England is they have a lot of the experiential classes that they were talking about. So I was able to take trial skills and criminal procedure simulation with Professor Cafaro. So just like helping get better at like specific things in the legal field. I think there's always classes that will help with like one particular skill that you're trying to work on, which for me is public speaking. I'm also doing the criminal defense clinic in the spring semester with Professor Cafaro. And then also I think Professor Stachin like mentioned that Western New England like helps build a foundation, and I really feel that way. I have multiple friends who have taken the bar already. And I'm telling them about my third year experience and having a year-long bar course. And even since my first year, they talked about the bar exam, and having friends at other schools, they're like, wow, I wish I had that at my school. And then so Law Review, I'm the editor-in-chief of the Law Review, which is made up of second and third year students. We have about 30 members. We publish articles and notes. So lawyers, judges, people in the legal field. It's a little different than, and also our students write notes in their second year when they're members. So it's different than other legal writing. In your first year, you'll be having a lawyering skills class where you write, but you're basically arguing how a court should rule based on law that already stands. So when you're on Law Review, you get the opportunity to write something that you can more argue why you like a law or why you don't like a law. Maybe Brittany can help me with explaining this a little better. So for me, at least, I wrote something like a public policy argument why there should be a new statute in Connecticut regarding automobile insurance law. So it gives you a chance to research something more and think beyond why, like what the law is, but like reasoning behind why laws exist. So that's a 40 to 60 page paper that you get to write your second year. And in general, the Law Review is great experience for editing. Brittany is one of the people who is editing intensely for us, like all the time. She's great at it. Again, feel free to say anything, Brittany, if you want. And then we also have a symposium, which Anthony, I'll forward the invitation to him to send to you guys, but this year it's on immigration. So we have experts in immigration law from around the country that are talking and writing articles for us. And it's a great event that I'll invite all of you guys to.
All right, terrific. Well, thank you very much, Katrin and Shayla and Brittany. That was a great overview of your experiences.